a dark rustle in the thick brush of West Texas. Barking dogs, snapping branches, and a frantic heartbeat. Suddenly, a guttural roar tears through the night as a 200-pound razorback charges from the shadows. Boom! One gunshot cuts through the pitch blackness. This is not a movie scene. It is Tuesday night in rural America, and rancher Jake Miller is defending his land from the ultimate biological time bomb. Wild boars are swarming our continent, wrecking farm machinery, destroying ecosystems, and walking straight into suburban neighborhoods like they own the place. Over 6 million feral hogs cause $2.5 billion in damage every single year in the United States alone. Across the globe in Australia, 25 million of these animals outnumber the human population. They multiply so fast that if you do not eliminate 2/3 of them every single year, their numbers just keep exploding. How do you fight an aggressive, highly intelligent army that never stops breeding? Stick around to find out, and do not forget to hit that subscribe button for more mind-blowing real-world stories. To truly understand what makes wild boars such an unstoppable force, you have to look past their ugly hides and study the terrifying biology underneath. These are not sloppy barnyard pigs. Evolution built them like living, breathing military tanks, designed to survive, conquer, and destroy anything in their path. A full-grown boar can easily tip the scales between 300 and 600 pounds. Their front shoulders are covered by a dense layer of tissue and thick cartilage, often called a shield. This skin armor can be up to 2 inches thick, toughened by years of fighting and rubbing against tree resin. It is so tough that it can deflect razor-sharp thorns, thick briars, and even small-caliber bullets, or the tusks of rival males. Their primary weapons, however, are a set of lethal tusks jutting out from their jaws. The lower tusks are dynamic killing tools that never stop growing. As the boar grinds its teeth together through daily feeding, these lower tusks continuously sharpen themselves against the upper teeth, turning them into self-honing daggers. The upper tusks act as heavy-duty anchors and levers, allowing the beast to rip through dense roots or push aside heavy obstacles. Pairing that brute strength with a snout as hard as concrete, a wild boar can detect scent cues buried more than 3 feet underground. Their sense of smell makes a bloodhound look amateur, allowing them to track down seeds, roots, and buried prey through thick dirt and fallen timber long before any predator even knows they are there. Where are you watching this video from? Please tell us your country or city in the comments and let us explore together. When a herd of these creatures moves into a territory, they do not just live off the land, they completely dismantle it. Their signature feeding behavior, known as rooting, looks like someone brought a heavy excavator into a virgin forest. Using their reinforced snouts, they plow up acres of native soil in a single night. This aggressive digging destroys root systems, wipes out delicate plant life, and strips away topsoil, leading to massive erosion. Small reptiles, amphibians, and ground-nesting birds lose their habitats instantly. On top of that, their habit of wallowing in shallow streams and mud holes creates a nightmare for water quality. They turn crystal-clear rivers into murky mud baths filled with dangerous bacteria like E. coli and liver flukes, poisoning freshwater ecosystems and threatening livestock downstream. What makes these animals truly terrifying to ranchers and hunters is what happens when you back them into a corner. Most wild animals like deer or coyotes will run away when threatened. A wild boar does not operate on fear. It operates on pure rage. If an adult boar gets injured or cornered, it turns toward the threat and charges with unrelenting ferocity. They do not just bite. They use a vicious upward goring motion with those razor-sharp lower tusks, slashing through muscle, tendon, and heavy arteries in a fraction of a second. If their tusks do not catch you, their raw mass will. A 300-pound boar hitting a human or a hunting dog at full speed feels like getting struck by a speeding ATV, crushing bones and causing severe internal trauma. They will keep charging again and again until their target stops moving, making them one of the most unpredictable and dangerous opponents on the American continent. Faced with an opponent that acts like a tank and reproduces like a plague, humans had to strike back with every tool in the shed. In the early days of this crisis, landowners and land managers turned to time-tested physical solutions. The first line of defense was the classic box trap. These heavy-duty structures are built out of reinforced steel tubing and thick cattle fencing panels, creating a rugged cage designed to hold hundreds of pounds of thrashing muscle. The real magic of a box trap lies in its entry doors. Trappers typically rely on a few specific mechanisms depending on the terrain. The guillotine door drops straight down like a heavy blade the moment a boar trips a hidden wire inside the trap. Then there are spring-loaded swing doors and root doors. A pig can easily push its way through these one-way gates to reach the corn bait inside, but the heavy springs snap shut immediately behind it, preventing any chance of escape. The beauty of the box trap comes down to portability and cost. A single landowner can load a couple of these traps into the back of a pickup truck, haul them down narrow timber trails, and set them up near fresh rooting tracks within an hour. They are simple, reliable, and relatively cheap to deploy wherever fresh hog activity pops up. However, when wild boars retreat into dense swamps, steep ravines, and impenetrable brush where trucks and heavy steel traps simply cannot go, hunters have to rely on a much older tradition. They call in specialized working dogs bred for generations, specifically to fight wild swine. This is a team effort involving two distinct types of dogs with very different jobs. First come the bay dogs. Breeds like the black-mouthed cur and the legendary Catahoula leopard dog are the trackers and strategists. Catahoulas in particular are famous across the American South for their unbelievable agility, footing, and ability to scramble up steep riverbanks or thickets. The bay dogs use their incredible noses to pick up a cold trail, tracking the sounder through thick brush. Once they find the pigs, their job is not to attack. Instead, they circle the boar at a safe distance, barking frantically to hold the animal in place and call in the hunter. When a massive boar decides to stand its ground and fight off the bay dogs, the hunter releases the catch dogs. These are heavy muscle breeds like American bulldogs or pit bulls. Catch dogs wear thick protective gear and are trained for one brutal task. They sprint into the fray, dodge the swinging tusks, and latch their powerful jaws directly onto the hog by the ear or snout. By pinning the pig head down, they neutralize its terrifying neck strength and immobilize the beast just long enough for the hunter to move in safely and finish the job. As thrilling and historic as these methods are, landowners quickly ran into a frustrating wall. Traditional box traps and hunting dogs have massive structural limits. A standard box trap usually captures only one or two adventurous young pigs at a time. The moment that trap door slams shut, the rest of the herd snaps to attention. Wild boars possess incredible social intelligence and memory. The surviving pigs in that sounder watch their family member get captured, learn the trick instantly, and become trap shy. They will avoid that spot and similar metal cages for the rest of their lives, passing that wisdom down to their offspring. Meanwhile, sending dogs into the woods is a slow, labor-intensive process that catches hogs one by one. You might take down a couple of dozen boars over a hard weekend of hunting, but while you are catching two, a sow in the next valley is giving birth to 10 more. Box traps and catch dogs deal with the surface symptoms without stopping the tidal wave underneath. Hunters quickly realized that relying solely on traditional methods was like trying to bail out a sinking ship with a plastic cup. To win an escalating war against an enemy that adapts this fast, human ingenuity needed a massive upgrade. As the war against wild boars escalated, human handlers quickly realized the horrifying price their working dogs were paying on the front lines. A cornered hog turns its razor-sharp lower tusks into deadly bayonets. A medical observational study tracking 42 boar hunting dogs exposed the brutal reality of these encounters. While proper veterinary care produced a solid survival rate of 90.5%, the injuries were gruesome. Deep thoracic penetrations and severe abdominal punctures were the primary cause of death. When a boar tusk punctures a dog chest wall, it causes a collapsed lung or punctures vital internal organs within seconds, turning a routine hunt into a fight for survival in emergency animal clinic. To keep these brave canine partners safe, handlers overhauled their entire strategy with cutting-edge armor and rigorous conditioning. Modern hunting dogs do not go into the brush unprotected. They are outfitted in custom vests, made from multi-layered Kevlar and cut-proof synthetic fibers that cover their neck, chest, and underbelly, deflecting sharp tusks that would otherwise slice open vital arteries. These dogs also wear heavy-duty Garmin GPS tracking collars fitted with real-time biometric monitoring. Handlers can track their dog location, heart rate, and movement speed through dense swamps right from their handheld screens. At the same time, training evolved into a disciplined 4-stage program. Young dogs start at stage 1, getting familiar with the scent of domesticated pigs in a safe, controlled environment. Stage 2 introduces basic baying instincts, using smaller, less aggressive boars to build confidence without physical risk. By stage 3, young dogs learn crucial pack mentality, working alongside experienced lead dogs in secure enclosures facing mature hogs to master teamwork and distance control. Finally, stage 4 puts them in actual wilderness conditions under strict human supervision. This step-by-step progression ensures every dog knows how to stay out of the kill zone while keeping the hog pinned down. Yet even with armored dogs and trained handlers, clearing entire populations required a massive leap into modern military-grade technology. The real turning point came when trappers abandoned small metal cages in favor of smart netting systems like the pig brig and remote-controlled drop nets. These massive circular traps are suspended above the ground and paired with motion-activated AI cellular cameras. Trappers monitor the feed on their smartphones from miles away, watching as an entire sounder of 15 to 30 boars slowly wanders inside to eat bait over several nights. Once the camera confirms every single member of the herd is feeding safely inside, the trapper taps a button on an app. The netting slams down instantly, trapping the whole family unit at once and preventing smart survivors from escaping to spread trap awareness. In vast open landscapes like West Texas, wildlife managers took the battle directly to the skies. Aerial eradication using helicopters allowed marksmen to cover thousands of acres of flat country in a single afternoon, taking down dozens of running hogs in minutes. To flush out herds hiding under dense forest canopies at night, land managers deployed advanced drones equipped with forward-looking infrared thermal imaging cameras. These night-flying drones sweep across thousands of acres, detecting heat signatures glowing through the dark tree canopy. Operators instantly relay precise GPS coordinates down to ground teams or land managers, turning pitch-black wilderness into a crystal-clear tactical map. By blending canine loyalty, smart trapping, and high-tech surveillance, humans finally turned the tide against one of the most destructive, invasive species on the planet. When you combine smart technology, strategic trapping, and coordinated ground operations, the hard numbers show that this relentless fight actually pays off. Look at what happened in Texas. Through unified programs, combining state wildlife agencies, local authorities, and private landowners, teams managed to remove over 52,000 wild boars in 2022 alone. Across the Atlantic in the United Kingdom, applying these same smart netting systems and large-scale management strategies led to an immediate drop in conflict. Property damage and boar invasions into residential areas and working farms plummeted by 50 to 60% almost overnight. Those numbers are not just statistics on a piece of paper. They represent real-life relief for everyday people working the land. Millions of acres of cornfields, soybean crops, and precious cattle pastures have been saved from complete destruction. Farmers who used to wake up to thousands of dollars in ruined soil and flattened crops can finally breathe again. Beyond saving agricultural livelihoods, reducing these invasive herds yields an incredible ecological bonus. It brings back a delicate balance to native ecosystems. Interestingly enough, scientists have observed a fascinating dual nature when it comes to wild pigs. When their population density gets out of hand, wild boars act like an ecological wrecking ball, turning lush forests into muddy, lifeless dead zones. But when wildlife managers bring their numbers down to a minimal, strictly controlled level, their natural behaviors actually serve a purpose. Light, occasional rooting aerates the topsoil, helping break up hard dirt layers. This allows rain to penetrate deeper and aids native forest trees by burying and dispersing seeds that otherwise would rot on the surface. Nature gets a chance to heal itself the moment human intervention removes the crushing pressure of overpopulation. The biggest lesson learned from decades of battling these animals comes down to a single phrase every wildlife manager lives by. Trapping is a process, not an event. You cannot just march into the woods for a weekend with a rifle, shoot a few hogs, and declare victory. True success does not come from a single hero with a gun or one high-tech cage set up in a field. It takes a total, synchronized effort. It requires satellite mapping data to track movement patterns, smart traps triggered remotely from a cell phone, disciplined teams on the ground, and a united community of neighboring farmers who share information instead of working in isolation. When every piece of that tactical puzzle locks into place, humans can finally reclaim the land and protect native wildlife for generations to come. At the end of the day, this fight is not about human dominance over nature. It is a sobering lesson about taking responsibility for our past mistakes. Wild boars did not ask to become an invasive species. We brought them here, and now it is up to us to restore balance with intelligence, technology, and genuine respect for living creatures. Protecting our hunting dogs with Kevlar and GPS reminds us that even in a tough fight, empathy and ethical responsibility must guide our actions. True stewardship means healing the land, not just destroying a rival. What are your thoughts on managing wildlife responsibly? Drop a comment below, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you all in the next video.